I don't need that. Oh, looks like we are live. Hello, welcome to this live. Today I just wanted to share a quick story on here. I recently had one of my videos go parabolic, basically, for my channel. Like my channel's pretty slow most of the time, and I started uploading a lot of videos regularly, and then suddenly one of my good videos like took off. And it's about what it's called is antique and vintage jewelry, like beginner's guide essentially. And I went back and I watched and I was like, oh yeah, I did actually put a lot of effort into this, and it's just been sleeping for like months and months and months. And now people are finding it, I guess, for whatever reason. We could talk about that more later if somebody has questions. But um, so I decided to start generating some content because I'm in a position to now. I got a little bit better job, and things are working out so that I can actually participate in the gold market a little bit more and start fixing my paperwork with the local government here in Utah. So I live in the Salt Lake City area. I'll dox myself that far. You could probably find me if you wanted to. It wouldn't be that hard because I am on the internet and stuff like that. Like I'm findable because I want to be able to do business with people. And anyway, so today what happened was me and my son decided to go out. He's only like 1.5. We decided to go out and find jewelry. We went to a bunch of local savers. It's a thrift store that people donate, clothing and old costume jewelry and knickknacks from their houses and furniture and artwork and that sort of thing. And so we went out and we hit 4 today. Now, the reason we did this was because a couple of days ago we went to one, me and a friend, and I saw that they have these like jewelry pots that they'll sell you for $20, and it's like full of costume jewelry, like that big, and I thought, well, that'd be pretty fun to go through that because I've done that before and I found bits and pieces of gold and things that paid for it, and it made it interesting to go through it. And so and I've got kind of a talented eye for that now that I've been doing this for almost a decade. It's a long time. And so we went around looking for these jewelry pots, but while I didn't find any at all 4 of the savers because they put them out in the morning and there are people that are actively getting them, and apparently it's worth it to somebody to do it because they're doing it. I found out in the area there's about 24 other people that are in this club of hunting for these things, so it's fairly competitive. But oh, TikTok's giving me notifications. Okay, so anyway, but while I was there, I looked in at these different savers. I looked in their jewelry cases, and I would ask about anything real that they had, silver, gold, and anything else that they thought was like real or worth a look at. Plus, I would look with my own eyes because there's certain things that I know to look for. Things that I look for Sunni, Indian turquoise rings and necklaces for sure. That's one type of thing that I found. And then the other things that I look for is anything by an artist, a known jewelry artist. And I actually found one of those today. So we had some exciting finds today. And what else do I look for specifically? I look for anything that's like patinaed and it's like older looking or has filigree. So these are some of the things that I was looking for today. Just older or interesting and real. And then some of these things weren't that expensive. So, um, so what happened today? Also, as a bonus, I looked at the artwork because I used to do art in high school, and so I've been looking for artwork to put up in my house. Now, the artwork that I'm finding usually has like some kind of like tiny minor defects, but they look really good. And I got in a fight with my sister about whether or not I could sell digital prints if I had the original copy. And she was telling me that the artist has the right to make copies, and I don't. So that might be true, but I still am tempted, probably because nobody's doing it with that artwork. And if they ever found me, it was like, well, I can share, but you have to make a deal with me, let me keep selling it, right? So something along those lines. But anyway, so I found today two bracelets that had filigree. I believe they're Indian or Asian, someplace from Asia or maybe an island in the sea. And then, and that was just based off of a Google search that I did with Google Lens. I like the Google AI search picture search because if you see something that's interesting, you can take a picture of it and it'll bring up what other people are posting. And usually somebody knows what that's called. Not everybody does, and you have to sort of weed out false labels and things like that. But sometimes they'll use a keyword that's the correct one for that object. And today that sort of thing happened. So I looked at these two bracelets, and they were silver. They had 925 marks on them, the right mark to be silver, and they were kind of big and a little bit heavy, and they were only like $9 each. And I thought, well, the silver value in these probably is about the same as the price, because it's hard to sell bracelets that are heavy for more than the silver price. It just seems to be that that's people won't pay more than that. Like, and it's just kind of strange. But these bracelets had like fine detail wire that somebody had like carefully put into certain patterns on these little beads on both of these bracelets that I found. And also I could tell that they had been around for a while because they had the patina over the top, so it wasn't bright silver. It was like silver with some antiquing on it, as they might say. And there's probably better words for it. My brain's like not working right now, but that's the idea. And so I was like, well, if I buy these, I'll have the silver. I'll still have my cash, but if I can figure out where they're from and if they're rare enough, which they probably are because somebody spent like 30 hours to make each of these bracelets, right? So they've got to be worth something, you know, from an artist or a jeweler's perspective. Like, it took a lot of effort to make these silver bracelets. Somebody put a lot of time into it. And so my thoughts are is that they're rare. And I'm going to do a little video that's about looking for certain, specific things. Because when you want to learn to identify vintage jewelry and or other precious finds in jewelry, um, one of the things is you have to sort of learn it category by category, and you have to be shown each category. Well, you can only do that by going out and looking and finding categories. So here I am going out to find some of these categories to do follow-up videos on the video that's taking off, and do an update or two or three. Let's see if I can get this YouTube thing to go. I've been at it for like 7 or 8 years, and it's just sort of been in the nosebleed section for my channel. But I think I found something that people are interested in, and I have a skill in, and I can create more content around it because I can make money doing it. And so yeah, so that's the plan. So basically, so I found these two bracelets, and then later I find this tiger's eye necklace, but the main pendant, so it had these big stones, boom, 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 around it, and then at the bottom it had like a round pendant, and it had this silver ring around and a tiger's eye in the middle, and then on the back it had a 925, and it couldn't be taken off the necklace. Like, it was built so that it would stay in place. And so what I did was I took a picture of it with the Google Lens, and up comes this artist name and that it's vintage, and people are selling it online for like, the only person that had any in stock was selling it for $220 online. And there was another guy that another person that had it for sale for 130, but they were out of stock, it said. So it tells me that it's somewhere between 220 and 130. So it might be worth, 175 or 180, 190, something like that. And so my thoughts are, and it was only $24 in the store, so I quickly purchased this one too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some pictures of these. I'm going to make a video that's like a more official one, and we're going to talk about the same thing, going out and hunting for this stuff. And then so I'll be able to show you guys these pieces before I sell them and figure out what they are. And hopefully I figure out what they are before I make the video, because and get it said right. So anyway, I have these these three pieces now, and I'm in at about, let's say 24 plus, another $20 is like, I'm in at about $40, but probably retail, I mean, we're talking maybe $300, right? So there's margin in it, and probably I'm going to post it either, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to post it on Etsy or eBay, or if I'm just going to put them on Facebook. I think Facebook doesn't have as good of a market, but you have the surety that you'll get paid because it can be local. You can get cash or maybe Venmo. Although Venmo, I sold a ring the other day and Venmo froze my account because see, what had happened was I opened Venmo on my new phone, and I did a big transaction at the same time, and so they're like, oh, fraud. As they do. But I don't like money that can be frozen. I like money that works. So that's just my opinion about it. And I don't want to, I'm not going to hold a lot of money on Venmo. Like I'll do transactions and I'll use their service probably, but I'm not going to hold a lot on there because I don't want them, because what if I had like thousands of dollars on there and they just froze the whole account for one transaction, right? Like, now what? Now they're investigating you for a week and they want you to upload 10 pictures of different things and jump on one foot and do a circle on your tummy with your hand and spin in a circle and do a circle on your head the opposite direction all at the same time just to unlock your account. And then you got to wait for 3 or 4 days for some guy that reads emails and solves these things to solve it for you. I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not okay with that. It's like, it either is supposed to work or not. Now, I understand that there can be fraud, but I mean, my new phone is associated with the right phone number, and so if they text to that number, it should work, and so they should be able to just verify that way. But maybe there's some loophole they're worried about that somebody's used before. Anyway, so as a bonus, I found, and so in the last couple of days going to all these savers here in Salt Lake City, I also found 2 pieces of artwork. One of them is sort of like it's like pinks and purples and whites all mixed together, and it's a very beautiful piece. And then the other one it's a little one like this. It's a puppy dog against sort of a gray background, and the puppy dog I think it's like a schnauzer. They're kind of fluffy, kind of like me, kind of fluffy like my beard, but different colors, kind of more like a brown color. They kind of have eyebrows and kind of like cute little ears, and I want to show that too. So that'll be kind of fun to show the things that we found, and then I'm gonna decide where to put them for sale. If anybody watches and is interested in any of the pieces that I show, feel free to hit me up, but if you're too slow, like, they might be gone. So, but sometimes you put things up for, retail or close to retail, and they sit there for a year or two, and you don't know when you're going to get paid back the money, which is kind of an interesting thing about jewelry. But I'd say it's better to have a bunch of things up and available than not. So that's kind of an interesting take on it. Like, I had this, so, okay, I've got another story to tell. So there was this guy, and he was out going to estate sales early in the morning, and he was buying estate jewelry for like really cheap. Like he got some stuff that was, really cheap, and he brought it to me, and I paid him scrap for a bunch of it that he didn't know what else to do with. And then I decided that one of the things that I bought was worth more than I bought it for, and that I could put it for sale. And I tried to put it in my friend's consignment store. And I also put it on, and before that I put it on Facebook, and this guy like saw it on Facebook, and he saw it, and then when I went and tried to put it at the consignment store, he also saw it there and complained. And so it was kind of cursed. I couldn't sell it at the consignment store that I usually sold the things, because they wouldn't handle it, because it had this sort of like negative reputation and situation. Because I marked it up a lot. I marked it up to like full retail because I decided it was vintage, So that's a lesson. Like the more you know about a piece, the more usually you can sell it for. If you don't know very much about it, the real, like where you make the real money is finding out what it is for sure, and then if there's a market for that or not. And so anyway, so this guy sold it to me. He was mad that he sold it to me, but it was a fair and square kind of a deal. And so I ended up just like, I couldn't sell it, so I didn't do anything for a couple of years with it. And then I put it up on Facebook for sale, and it was up there for like 3 years. And I got one offer on it a few months ago, and then I got another offer on it just the other day. And I finally sell this quote unquote cursed ring and I sell it for a pretty steep discount from the retail price, like the full retail. But I feel like I got a good deal for it, And but the money that I sold it for got froze for me and my friend, who was kind of a partner in the deal. And so the money got froze on Venmo. And I was worried that, the other party to it maybe was trying to cancel it or something, or, some such thing. But basically I figured out it was just because I opened it on my new phone, I think was the reason. And it was just, that transaction was just, it was bad from all the way from the beginning all the way through the end. Like there's just bad emotions attached to the transaction. And in jewelry, you don't want that. You don't want cursed pieces of jewelry. And so if it's a cursed one, maybe you send it to a refiner like me, and I'll destroy it, and we can restart it, dissolve the gold away, remove the stones, and have somebody artistic with positive energy make something new. It's just like, it's one of those things. And so yeah. Anyway, those are kind of my stories. I'm going to see if I've got any chats here. I don't think I do. I don't see anything. Doesn't seem to show me anything. I saw somebody came in for a minute on the real live part. That's kind of the first time I've seen that happen. So we'll see if it posts me sideways. That would be interesting to see, because I turned my phone sideways. Hopefully YouTube's smart enough to put it the right way. But I don't know for phones if it does it like I'm sideways. So that might be a funny artifact of this video. Anyway, my lunch break is over, so I gotta go back to what I was doing, and we're gonna hunt for some more stuff, and I think we're gonna find some. So we'll see how that goes, and we've got a video or two to make, so we'll see how that goes too. So yeah, in that one video that took off, I said how that I was going to make a course, and that I was going to do coaching and stuff. And I mean, I think I still need to make a course, and I am willing to still do coaching, although nobody's approached me about it. So I'm not worried about it right now. But if one of you gets interested and says, hey, I want to study with you, or I want to be in phone contact with you, I'd do a course, and we could, decide on a price we thought was fair, and do it. So that's a possibility that I could do, that I could help anybody out there who wanted to get into this hunting thing and get good. So, yeah, thanks for watching. And if you watch this far, you're a champ, because usually nobody watches to the end. And, peace out. I will see you guys next time. Go find the gold, and then we'll talk about it. All right, how do I end this thing? I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, maybe I just hit this X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay.